Back in the day when kids were much more active, they played all kinds of sports, little league, soccer, football, and they'd give those trophies out left and right. But usually the parents were the ones that ended up with the trophies because the kids didn't really care about them. Well, it's time to dust them off and put them to good use. To make the retro trophy coat rack, you're going to need some old trophies, specifically the ones with the characters on the top. It's time to knock them off their pedestals, and that's pretty easy to do, because most of them have a bolt and a nut that hold them in place on the support. If you can't just unscrew them by hand, you'll need a wrench to get in there and hold that nut, and then just twist the character until it comes loose. Now you've freed this guy up to hold your coat. Some of them are attached differently with a longer shaft, but that'll also go into an adapter that screws into that nut, and I used a pair of needle nose pliers to get that one loose. Once you're done, be sure to hang on to those nuts because we're going to need them later in the project. I decided to use 6 for my project, a combination of baseball, soccer, karate, and an angel. I'll be mounting everything to a piece of kiln dried pine. I dare you to say that 3 times fast. And the piece I'm using is 36 inches long. So I'm going to make a mark 5.5 inches in and then make a mark every 5 inches. So for the 6 trophies, they'll all be balanced equally on this 36-inch board. The width of this piece of wood is 3.5 inches wide. So I'm going to make 6 marks 1 3/4 inches from the edge, which is right smack in the middle of this piece of wood. I discovered that all the inset bolts on these trophy tops were the same, so I found a drill bit that was slightly larger than these bolts. And it's time to head out into the shop, where I drilled all 6 holes into my trophy base. Now, as you can see, the shortest player trophy bolt will not make it all the way through this piece of wood, so I need to use a spade bit on the other side. I'm going to drill about halfway through this piece of wood. And taking a test measurement, sure enough, this bolt has enough threads to get that nut on and hold it in place. I went ahead and increased the depth of all 6 of those holes. Now to fasten it to the wall, I'm going to use 2 brass wood screws. These are really nice. And I'll need a drill bit slightly larger than those screws, and I'll make 2 holes a couple of inches from each end of the trophy base. These wood screws have a countersunk head, which means they're not going to sit flush on the wood, so I'll need a countersink bit to make it work. I countersunk 1 hole and put the screw in to test, and sure enough, this screw head will be flat against the base. Now that all our holes are drilled, it's time to prep this piece of wood. I'm going to use a sanding block to round out all the edges and just take off all of the roughness. Then I'll be using some 300 grit sandpaper to smooth it out really good. I want this to have a really nice look when it's done, so I'm going to use some amber gloss varnish. I applied the varnish to our trophy mount and let it sit overnight. It looks really good now and has a nice gloss coat. I've laid out all the trophy heads in order and positioned them where I want them to go on the mount. Then it's just a matter of inserting them in the wood and adding the nut. I had just enough room to get a wrench in there to tighten them up good. My old trophy characters have found a new home and a new job, holding my stuff. The last step is finding a place on the wall where I want it to go. Once I've done that, using a level, I made sure it was straight, and with an awl, punched a starter hole in both of those ends to mount it. Then it's just a matter of adding those 2 wood screws and tightening it up flush to the wall. Those old trophies have been revived and put to good use. And it's a great conversation starter because the trophy coat rack is in our guest bedroom, where we have the first Casper mattress that was sent to us by Casper, who supports my channel. I was skeptical about a mattress delivered to my door in a box, but they're totally comfortable, and it's because they're a high-tech, hybrid mattress that combines latex foam and memory foam, and they carry a 10-year warranty. Now don't go store to store shopping for a mattress when Casper will send you theirs to try out for 100 nights. That's over 3 months. If you really don't like it, they'll come and get it for free and refund your money. And as an added bonus, Kipkay fans get an additional $50 off by going to my link, casper.com/kipkay, and using the promo code KIPKAY. I'm proud to have Casper as a supporter of my channel, and you'll be proud to own a Casper mattress. Well, that's how to make the trophy coat rack. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.